Back to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to create a REST API in NestJS. So this will be part 1. We will continue with many more parts for this particular project. So first you will have to create a NestJS project. So if you don't have a NestJS CLI, then you can directly run this command. If you have a CLI, then you can just create a project with this command. So here I have created a NestJS project using this command. Once you create a project, you will have to generate modules, controller as well as service. So I have created a module for users, I have created a module for reports, then I have created a controller for users, I have created controller for reports as well, then I have created service for users, and then I have created a service for reports as well. Next you have to install 3 dependencies. First is this @NestJS type ORM, second is type ORM, and third is SQLite. So type ORM, if you don't know, is an ORM which will help us to communicate to a database, and for my database I'm just using SQLite, but if you want you can use any database. Like type ORM supports a lot of databases like MongoDB, SQL, whatever, Amazon Aurora database. Then next we have to go to app.module.ts. so I will just close this for now, reports and users. Go to app.module.ts, and here you will have to add this bit of code. So ignore this for now. So you have to add this bit, and here I have set the type as SQLite. My database name is db.sqlite, and entities you can keep empty. I have not shown you this as well. And synchronize, keep it as true. Next you have to create a file user.entity.ts. so go to the users directory, create a file called user.entity.ts, and here a user will have an email as well as a password, but we also require an ID which will be the primary key. So here you can see I have marked this class as @entity, which means we want a user table in our database, primary generated column, which means it is a primary key, and we want 2 more columns, one for email and one for password. Next we have to go to user.module.ts, and here we will have to add this type ORM dot feature user. Okay, next you have to go to app.module.ts again, and here then you can add this user as well as this user module. Next we have to do similar thing for reports as well. So first go to reports, create this file called report.entity.ts. First again we want a table with a name as report, and it will have an ID which is a primary key as well as a price. Sorry, I misspelled this should be price. Okay, and then go to reports.module.ts, and we will add this bit of code to import our type ORM model which we have created. Then again we have to go to app.module.ts, and here we will add report, and we will add report module as well. Next we have to add a validation pipe in main.ts. so here you can see I have added this validation pipe. This validation pipe is used because suppose our user entity requires email and password, and the user send one more extra parameters like isadmin, but we don't have that isadmin parameter. So if that particular parameter is not present in our database, this thing of whitelist equal to true will help us ignore that. Next you have to install 2 more dependencies, class validator and class transformer, and once you install that, you will have to create a file called inside users, create a folder called dtos. Inside that, create a file called create user.dto.ts, and for creating a user we require an email as well as a password, right? Because that's what we have defined inside our entity class. So that's what this is, email and a password, and this email should be a proper email. That's why I have added this validation, and for a password it should be a string. Then you have to go to user service.ts. so here you have to go, and here you can see I have added this @injectable, and inside constructor we are injecting our repository class in for this particular user. And okay, and we have created a method called create which takes email as well as password, because that's what we have inside our DTO. And then we will just call this create method, which will help us to create our user, but it is still not saved into our database. Now to save into our database, we have to call this save method as well. Okay, now you will have to call this service class from our controller. So go to user controller.ts, and here I have just changed the controller path to auth. If you want to keep it as user, you can keep it as like that as well. Next, inside a constructor, I am injecting our user service, and here you can see I have created one route called /signup. So our path will look like localhost :3000 /auth/signup, and it takes a create user, which takes a create user DTO, and we are just calling the service class create method. So I'm just passing the email as well as password. Now if you just run npm run start, go to postman, and you can create a user something like this. Once you create a user, you will see this file being created inside your project, because we are using SQLite. So if you are using something other like MongoDB, you can go to your database and check whether this particular user was created or not. Now to view this file, I have went to this website called inloop.github.com/SQLite viewer. Just drag and drop your website. Here you will have to choose users and just click on execute, and here you can see the email ID as well as the password. I know there are still lot of things, but this is just the first part, and I wanted to keep it simple, but later on we will see how to hash your password and much more things, like how to create more APIs for user as well as reports. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.